So Jupiter has almost invisible role that's so powerful, but you have to take time to work it. You have to begin to see it's really guiding the inner planets. It's being affected by the outer planets. And the stress patterns coming to it are going to be struggles. Doesn't mean if there's a stress, it doesn't necessarily mean misunderstanding. It means there's going to be a struggle to understand. That means there'll be a battle. The two sides will be stressfully relating to each other. Here's what's right. Here's what I want. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm thinking. And there'll be struggles to understand properly, and fights with what is proper and what is not proper. So this expansion or abundance or joviality, as soon as there's too much of it, how do you live up to it? It's going to make demands. To plant a field, so you're going to plant a garden. How big are you going to make your garden? You plant a garden that's, say, 12 feet by 20 feet, and you get about 10 rows in it. You plant the seeds, there you go, a small garden. But even that small garden is going to demand that you take the weeds out, make sure it's watered, take care. It's going to require attention every week, if not every day, to keep the garden going well. And how much you get out of that garden, and how little you get out of it. A small garden, well maintained, can give abundant fruit. But if you're slack on maintaining it, there's going to be more weeds, there's going to be less fruit, things are going to happen. The same with life. But if you're choosing, let's make a big garden, so we have an abundance of stuff. Let's plant 100, let's go by 24 by 100 feet, and you got a big garden. Well, heck, it's hard to do that without having equipment and getting the tractor or getting the rototiller and getting all these things. It takes time to go get them, and then you have to plant it all. And with machines, you can plant a lot more, but then you got a lot more area to weed. And then there's ways to get out, but it's going to take more things. So the bigger the thing you have, the more maintenance it's going to take. And so a big garden and you don't bother weeding it is going to give much less produce than a small garden taken care of. What's appropriate? What are you really ready to do? What are you going to live up to? If you do something and it fails and you don't live up to it, yeah, you learn from your failures. We learn tremendously. Well, sometimes we have to fail more than one time to learn the proper lesson. So this part of Jupiter, it's not so much in our head. It's kind of somewhere between our head and the heart. What's right, what's wrong. It's in our social sense. So it's kind of outside of ourselves and judging what we're doing. But it's really guiding what's appropriate as well. Or if it's negative, if it's not working properly, it's not guiding or it's misguiding us. Oh, we get an idea to do something, then we get the devil or the angel sitting over us. Do I go this way? Should do this or should do that? Some people have a very nice alignment to Jupiter and they have a natural sense of what's right and wrong. Most of us have to struggle for it. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, I got to take care of that. Oh boy, fixing mistakes. And deciding I have to fix this mistake before I go on, or I'll just leave it behind and go on and see. But what you put out will come back sooner or later. It takes time to learn that. So all the wrong things I did as a teenager, as a kid, I knew, but I was still getting away with things. When I was an adult, I had to have a lot of difficult things happen to me that I was just paying off that old debt. So anything I got ripped off for, and I couldn't complain. It took a while to see that. And some things go across lifetimes. How come the things that don't seem fair and they happen, often you're paying off a debt across a lifetime. So Can't get a quick fix on Jupiter, but sometimes you get an instant thinking, you know, that person's wrong, or you know, this isn't right, or you know, you should do this, I should do this. Oh, geez, I don't want to do that. I should go back to school. I don't really want to do that. Maybe I'll try and do something else. So how well we are aligned to our understanding and our Jupiter, to our guidance, that even that being properly aligned is difficult enough. If we improve it a little bit, it makes a huge difference in our life. Is there importance of being right? Well, I mean, there's a lot of religions as teaching people how to live right or how to live righteously. And then unfortunately, there's a lot of religions that tend to judge people who aren't part of their religion as living unrighteously, and they're worth fighting and evil for. So outward behavioral things, groups, teams, religions, organizations, and how we're involved in them. That's kind of how they guide us. That's Jupiter. You know, a lot of people will take someone like Anthony Robbins and think he's the greatest guru and he'll guide me and I'll be really rich. But it involves more than just positive thinking. It involves living properly, doing what's right, accumulating right, more right than wrong. So many ways that we can overstep our boundaries, which is Jupiter. So when we overstep our boundaries, Saturn, Jupiter is encouraging us, go further, go further, go further. And it's not being aware, well, wait, there's this boundary, we have to take care of this, so we better do this first, we better be prepared for that. That's good guidance. But if saying just go for it and see what comes, a lot of athletes are encouraged, just go for it, just get adrenaline, drive, go for it, keep working out, get strong, go for it. Of course, a lot of athletes, by the time they're middle-aged, they're cripples, or they got bad ankles or bad knees, and they can't do any of the things they used to do, and they're struggling with, should I have done that? What can I do now? And that's just generally as we get older. When we're young, we get almost unconditional energy, and when we're older, what's left is our understanding to guide what little energy and force we have left. So it's a puzzle. What's like on the outer planet? So Saturn is the anchor to Jupiter. Venus, Neptune, Pluto, their outer planets are justifying extremes. And when they justify extremes, it's not safe. Something will happen. You can do it. Jupiter's saying, go for it. What the heck? But there'll be repercussions. So the healthiest Jupiter is a very Saturnine Jupiter. It's one where Saturn, it's understanding clearly Saturn and can guide you responsibly. So as an astrologer, we want to guide people. And you can see, oh, Uranus is conjunct Mars, just go do anything. But really, you should have been preparing for that for a year or two to come with. So when it's ready to do something independent, you can go do it, and it's not going to come back and disrupt your life. But you see, because Saturn's boredom, often we understand, I want to be bored. I don't want to just, I want to do something else other than that. So our understanding is pulled to the outer planets. That's positive things or negative things. Oh, I'll never dance again. That I got guilt, or I never do this because that happened. They're just, we can get in so many different things and look back and think, well, I was there. So, okay. So this puzzle of Jupiter, understanding. When is it understanding? When is it misunderstanding? When it is encouraging too much? When it's not entirely disassociating, encouraging, don't get involved in magnifying disassociation, or when it's just balanced and insightful and responsible and wise. When we're 16 or 17 and want to get laid, we don't care about wisdom. But boy, after we get hurt or get disoriented, a little understanding how come is necessary, and it will come. Jupiter has its cycle of like assimilating. We're assimilating every experience we have. It's accumulating up. One is going into memories, but we have to understand we can't just live for memories. Two, we're thinking about our memories. We have to understand that that has its own isolation or run-on things, and there's a need to understand how it affects others, what's going out. Usually when the outside doesn't work, we disassociate, we pull in. I'm not going to participate. I'm going to pull into my own world. Why go out in the world? I'll just stay here. But it's almost impossible to just stay here. So you can see its guidance system. In another way, Jupiter's your warning system. You know, your awareness of how consciously you live or don't live. I mean, how often do we do something and it hurts someone and we don't even know it's hurting someone? It's nice, like in a martial art or in a sport thing, it's nice to have a competition where you can be really aggressive and you know the aggression is acceptable because the other side is trying to be just as aggressive. And then you have games or sports where this is acceptable, but you take that same logic and you put it out into life and you're going to hurt people or get hurt by people. So while Jupiter encourages and exaggerates, it's trying to teach. And as soon as you go past the boundary of what's too much, you're going to have lessons to learn. It's going to be too costly. There'll be repercussions, and there'll be Saturn results or karmic results. So you can do what you want, but you're responsible for the result of what you want. And sooner or later, those results will accumulate. Like for me, after being married 3 times, or after being divorced 3 times, I have a little less credibility about trying to get married. I'm trying to be someone that's, what's going on? How come 3? You know, for someone else, what's too much sweets? What's too much dessert? What's too much sex? So some people are oversexed and will learn those. Some people are undersexed and have to understand that perspective. Some people are strong, some people are weak. And you're having to get your understanding around it of what's appropriate for you. Everybody's got different potentials. So it's hard to just look at Jupiter and say, oh, they're going to understand this. You get some sense of it by the sign that colors the Jupiter, the house it goes into, above or below the right rising sign. You begin to see how your relationship plays out. You're pushing it out, you're reacting to it, you're responding. It's out socially, it's down personally. You can begin to see what works for you. But the stress patterns coming into it. It's this stressful relation. It doesn't mean a bad understanding. It doesn't mean you can't have a right understanding. It means you're going to have a struggle with certain types. Like if Jupiter's on one layer, you're going to have a struggle with the moon or with memories, or you're going to have a struggle with Mercury or your mind or your emotions. It could be any one, it could be any combination of them. Or you might not have any struggles to inner planets. They may be all in your outer functioning. So there's a lot to figure out in this tiny little solar system that we live on, that we live in. Makes me think when you're playing in a band or you're playing in a music, you're playing with a group of people, and everybody's got their written music, the music to play. They're each playing their part. And if everybody holds together, the whole piece gets played, and it's great. But as soon as someone makes a mistake or loses a beat, they want to say, oops, sorry, I just missed this. Nobody wants to know why you made the mistake. They just want you to pick up the beat and help them stay on track. So how much of our life is trying to explain how we lost the beat or how we made mistakes or trying to justify what we did instead of just picking up the beat and being right again?